In the name of God, today is the 102nd week of the peaceful gathering of the family and the supporters of Muhammad Ali Tari in Toronto. Mr. Tari, who has been in solitary confinement for his lawful, spiritual, and mystical teaching since 2011. He was arrested in May 2011 and in a court hearing session was prosecuted for the fabricated charge of insulting Islamic sanctity and corruption. He was sentenced to 5 years imprisonment and 900 million toman in monetary fine for the charge of insulting Islamic sanctity. But the corruption on earth remained as an open case and as a tool to impose more pressure on him in the future. In July 2015, after having been in prison for more than 4 years, he was prosecuted a second time on the charge of corruption on earth, and he was sentenced to execution. On December 23, 2015, this verdict was infringed by Iran's Supreme Court and referred the case back to the same court that handed down the sentence. Mr. Tari was supposed to be freed in February 2016 after completion of a 5-year prison and paid a monetary fine. But he has been fined and charged with the same false accusations. Mr. Tari has been prosecuted on July 10th of 2017 for the third time on the charges of corruption on earth. He again denied all the charges against him, and he is currently waiting for the outcome of the last court. The last imposed court hearing is against Iran's constitution, as it is a gross violation of International Human Rights Act, but it is not also accepted based on the Iran's rule of law, and it's also a violation of the International Criminal Court of Law. How many more times does Mr. Tari have to defend himself against the false allegations and the charges that have been previously charged for? How many more times do his basic human rights have to be violated? How long will it take for the judiciary system to stop being pressurized to repeat the unlawful treatment of Mr. Tari? Why are the new charges being fabricated against him while he has already spent over 6 years in prison? We believe that the charges of corruption on earth is completely false, and we hope they stop repeating them. We are asking for an independent ruling of the court without the interference of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard. We demand that the judiciary authorities adhere to Iran's constitution and comply with the ruling prohibition of prosecution. We would very much like to be supported by the international organizations and demand to call on the Iranian government to free